at the appropriate AQF level.
I think so. It's unit sector, right? Just digital competence, so.
And do assessment activities and the requirements reflect current industry requirements?
Yes.
Does the assessment tool incorporate the dimensions of competency, including the candidate's ability to do the following while assessing performance on the work activity? So, are they able to perform the work activities to demonstrate their task skills?
Yes.
Task management skills, contingency management skills, so resolve common problems or challenges that occasionally arise when performing the work activity. I think that would be incorporated in those activities.
Yeah.
And then the job role and environmental skills, perform the activity in a way that contributes to maintaining a safe, inclusive and productive work environment. I think you did state earlier with your candidate, you'll be doing it in their office area where they work. Safe and inclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, so that will come under like them setting up their workstation, so they'll be prepared for that. And obviously have their emails and mobile phone, which we'll need for the assessment.
And I'll just have a look at the competency as well.
On the assessment tool. This assessment cover just is for the one task in activity 4.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you're right. So all of that is about selecting and preparing the technology, their input and processing the information and the data, and they're going to be finalising and then storing the documents, so doing like their review and final edit.
Yeah.
And then naming and storing the document.
Yeah.
Comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Does the assessment tool collect evidence of the candidate's use of the required skills and knowledge in more than one similar situation? So there's the 7 activities you say that you've got, so taking across.
So yeah, the 7 activities they'll be using, well, setting up workplace.
Yeah.
Email will be covering two activities. Sending text messages, another 2 activities together, and then there's a letter. So yeah, they'll be using their knowledge across several range of activities.
Different situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, just noted that down. Will the evidence collected using the assessment tool meet the rules of evidence? I.e., will the evidence be valid, sufficient? Let's go with the validity first. Demonstrate whether the candidate has a broad range of skills. Do you think that those assessment tools will be able to meet that?
Yes.
That attribute to describe the units of competency that we went through then, if you want to go through. Do you think the quality and the quantity of the evidence that you'll be gathering will be enough for assessors to be able to judge the candidate's competency?
Yes, I think so.
Sufficient and current, the evidence will have been produced recently enough to ensure the assessor. And authentic, does the tool include mechanisms to ensure the evidence provided was their own work?
Yes, so I'll be assessing them one-on-one in person.
And will they be composing like the email from?
Oh, yep. So they'll be sending their email directly to my own email.
So where's their email coming from?
Their own personal.
Yep. So they're logging into their work laptop?
Yeah. And sending from a work email. So I know that that's them, but I'll also be within their vicinity of
To see that they are.
to see that it is them.
Is the assessment tool free of unnecessary activities or requirements? Did you see anything in any of those that's a bit too much or maybe not required?
We've got send a text message,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got receive and reply to a text message. So I feel like that activity could be put together, because if you've already sent a text message and then it's got you replying to a message, so you could receive a message and then in one is send a message
So
back.
potentially, I'm looking at it there, it looks like you
Merging.
might merge your 6 and 7.
Together.
So really, activity 6 won't be required because it's covered in activity 7.
Yeah.
Did you want to make
Yeah,
notes?
mark that out.
And just maybe put your
6
merge
and 7 merge.
I'll just put a no there, and then but I'll just say merge activity 6 and 7.
Yeah, and I've also got activity 2 and activity 5 is receive and respond to an email, and then activity 5 is send and receive an email. So essentially,
And try to do
it's
that
the
there.
same.
Merge, what were the 2 activities?
Activity 2,
Yep.
which is receive and respond to an email. So I send them an email, and then they must download, save the attachment, whatever I'm sending, and then reply to confirm. But then activity 5 is pretty much exactly the same.
Yep.
And 5.
And it's good that you're picking up on these things, because there's nothing worse than repeating yourself or doing the same
Same
activity
thing
over and then achieving the same result.
Yeah.
So making sure that you're condensing it to exactly the items that you need to achieve that assessment criteria. Is the assessment tool structured and formatted in a clear, easy to follow manner? So is the assessment tool structured and formatted in a clear, easy to follow manner? You're going to feel
Yeah.
comfortable
Yeah.
delivering that tomorrow.
I feel, yes, as you prepare, setting up a workspace, obviously get them comfortable and then go straight into the email and straight on from there, so it goes
So good flow.
good flow. That's the word I was looking for.
Does the assessment tool contain clear information for assessors, including instructions for administering
Yep, so
the assessment?
it does, it goes
Comprehensive.
through all the different tasks, and with the questions it also gives sample answers.
So you've got a clear plan in mind for your validation, your assessment tomorrow.
Yes.
Decision-making rules to promote consistent assessment decisions. Decision-making rules to promote consistent assessment decisions.
So we've got guidelines.
Which page are you looking at?
So on to page 10, there's guidelines for administrating each activity, so you can follow those guidelines and will be the same every time.
Yeah, perfect. So you're obviously going to be having a visual while they're doing it.
Yeah.
You're going to be asking questions and having the candidate explain.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they're doing and why. Recording your observations. So you've got the checklist. You're going to have somewhere where you can write your notes in, and where you've got, have you got a section to add comments if you need to?
Yeah, I got feedback for the candidate on all of them,
Oh yeah, I see that.
and also on my recorded assessment results.
Perfect. So we'll go a yes, and benchmark responses and examples of work that meet the requirements. So how are we knowing that what they provide is meeting the requirements? Then
I've
you
got
have an
some
example
assessment conditions at the end, and
Of an email?
yes, here we go, the assessment cover sheet and resources. So we've got an example
Perfect.
for the business letter.
So there's your standard and your,
And then we've
benchmark.
also got, the email to forward that we need the responsible